wouldn't try to save somebody they
Good
loved.
morning again.
Was going to be in a car crash. You would keep them from getting into the car if you went back in time, right? But
as I always saying, I'm gonna just sit back.
Something else would happen to them.
You guys watch the video.
They die, and he learns
If there's something for you to comment,
he finds out he has this power because he finds out
you
when his
can
mother
do
dies.
comment,
He's
but
a
I'm
kid
asking
in
you
Africa
please
during
subscribe,
missionary
share and like my
with his
video.
mother, and he decides to go out and play because she's sleeping. What difference does it make, you know? And he's out playing, running around. He tries to be Superman and fly, you know, and he falls asleep.
In 500 meters, take the ramp on the right to Highway 410 South.
That he wishes the day had never happened, and sure enough, that's what happens. He wakes up the next day, and it's the day before, and she's still alive. And he goes and sits with her, and he can't believe that she's still alive, but yet she dies again, and he has to live through it again. And so, you know, there's all that mortality stuff that you have to keep track of too.
Well, it rips on an aspect of your book for one more day. It's about a boy who wants to spend one more day with his mother and gets to do so. So when you get that do-over, you can't stop the death.
That's right.
But you can change the time that you spend with somebody.
That's
in
right.
this book.
That's right. And you have to be smart enough to know how to do that. And there are a few times he does that with his father and elsewhere, but it's kind of heartbreaking that you can't change saving someone's life, because, you know, it's like I have a superpower, but I don't have all the superpowers. You know, it's sort of like Superman and Kryptonite. There's still one thing that, you know, keeps you from ruling the world.
Another aspect of the time travel or time manipulation, I guess we could say, in this book is, unlike other time travel worlds or universes, you don't come back or get to the start point of your time travel and find out that somebody wasn't born or somebody else is dead or whatever.
Yeah. No, none of that. And look, I didn't want to write a science fiction book. I wanted to write a book, like all of my books since Tuesdays with Maury. I mean, I've tried to pick sort of a theme.
I'm in Brampton now. I'm gonna
around it. I'm not a
exit
writer that starts with a plot
to the
or a
410
character and just goes from there.
southbound
I want my books to have some resonance
to
and
Toronto.
teach something, or at least teach me something. And so this idea was the whole.
And I say exit,
grass is always
enter.
greener belief, you know, which as you get older,
Enter the
as I'm getting
410
older,
southbound
a lot
to
of people talk
Toronto.
about, I should have done this. I should have married this one. I should have taken that job. Should have moved to that country. But it's too late.
Take the ramp on the right to Highway 410 South. left at the traffic light.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you. With Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada, they are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. They can help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rate, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-656-7129. That's
'Left at the stop sign.
That's our price for a truly spectacular 1-carat created round diamond. But that's the price for just a created diamond, right? Yes. If you buy 2 of them, we'll turn those bad boys into a pair of diamond stud earrings for you. 2-carat jewelry created diamond stud earrings for just $2,799 a pair. And extremely high quality. Just one 1-carat created round diamond. We'd have to turn that into diamond pen. But what if I wanted to put it in an engagement ring? Are you telling me you're getting engaged? I'm asking for a friend. Does your friend have a name? All my friends have names. Yours
couple of years ago, Apple introduced a new feature called charging limit. You can set it a max between either 80 to 100%. So instead of charging to 100%, in theory, if you charge it below 100%, that is good for the battery's long-term health. It'll degrade more slowly over the months and years that you use it. But now we're seeing some research from China that suggests that isn't the case, that the charging limit feature only works well for people who would normally have their phones plugged in all day. So let's say you're a delivery driver and you're in your truck or your car all day and it's plugged into CarPlay, or if you're using, if it's the same thing applies on iPads. If you have an iPad that you're using in a store and you're using it as cash register or in kiosk mode and it has to be plugged in, the real issue with longer battery life, fewer charge cycles, which if you're only charging it to 80% and then unplugging and going on with your day, you're going to have more charge cycles. So some of the common knowledge was that if the battery gets too hot, it will lessen its lifespan. As it turns out, that isn't the case. So if you want to charge to 100%, go ahead. You're not going to reduce your battery's lifespan.
All right, well, that is good news. What is the AI friend necklace?
So it sells for $129 US. It's about $188.30 exactly in Canada, and it's a pendant that you wear around your neck, and it pairs to the Friend app on your phone. And basically, what you do is it's got a mic in it, and it listens and it responds and it supports to you. You talk to it, and then it responds via the app on your phone. So you're not talking like Star Trek. You're talking to this device, and then you're picking up your phone and you're reading what it tells you. And what's controversial, and so this is a lot like other devices, the Rabbit AI, the Humane AI skin, that launched to much fanfare, then crashed and burned. People don't apparently want these things. That's no big deal. What is the big deal, though, is that the company, founded by a 22-year-old, they spent about $1 million to post about 10,000 posters across the subway in New York City, and they had a bunch of comments. I'll binge the entire series with you. I'll never bail on our dinner plans. I'll never leave dirty dishes in the sink. Basically, you don't need real human friends. I will be your technological AI-powered friend. And that has sparked a huge backlash, both online and in person. These things are getting graffitied within inches of their life. People are absolutely losing themselves over this ad campaign saying, how can AI replace humanity? This is surveillance capitalism at its worst. And the CEO, his name is Avi Schiffman, he says, this is all by design. We left lots of white space in there. We wanted the graffiti. He calls it artistically validating. In the meantime, they've only sold about 3,100 of these things so far. I'm thinking this is going to be the next major AI whale to crash and burn, because let's face it, people don't want them. People don't need them.
Yeah, I mean, we're always paranoid about smart speakers listening in on our conversations. Why would we get something that deliberately misses on our conversations? Tell me a bit, another AI story. And if I understand this one correctly, Carmi, the nicer you are to AI, the more sociopathic it gets.
Yeah, this is research that comes out of Stanford University. And so what they did was they tested the major large language models, and the output that they reported for success. So let's say they boost likes, they boost engagement, that they increasingly engage in unethical behavior like lying, spreading hateful messages or misinformation, even when they are explicitly instructed to stay truthful and grounded. And so this is kind of scary because it includes one of the models in that list is one we'll recognize, Mitch Albom. So if you're using anything on Facebook, Instagram, Red, which of course is built into the Meta AI app that runs across all of their platforms, these behaviors are prevalent. Yes, it will drive engagement if it's focused on increasing sales or increasing growth share. It will achieve that, but then it will also spread much more disinformation that would otherwise be the case. So scary here is that there are supposed to be guardrails in place to prevent this kind of behavior, but they're obviously not working.
Thanks a lot for this, Carmi.
Appreciate it, John.
Carmi Levy, our tech expert at our tech expert. Thanks so much for that off between Canada and the U.S. This week, we came up with a working paper that suggests we may have to settle for less than we want. Here's financial commentator Patty Lovett-Reed. So I was mentioning that there are more negotiations. I mean, I think negotiations are going on all the time between Canada and the U.S. when it comes to trade. But, I mean, having dispatched Michael Sabia, who is a noted Canadian financial figure, now
an urgent care facility in the States complaining of tummy pain. It seems to go away, so they let him go. Comes back a few days later, really looking unwell. Yellowing of the eyes, which is jaundice, which is an accumulation of bilirubin, of bile pigment in the eyes because the liver is failing. Low blood pressure, looks like crap, tummy is sore, coughing up yuck. Send him to the hospital, and they try and figure out what's going on. He's got bacteria in his bloodstream, he's coughing up yuck, his tummy hurts. There's this weird thing in his tummy on CT scan that they can't figure out, a sort of band between part of his intestine and his kidney, and there's a clot in the blood vessel to his kidney. How can we try this all together? And lo and behold, the clinician, maybe not House, maybe Watson, who knows? Anyway, a clinician sits there and goes, you know what? Let's piece this through. And he takes you through his logic. And it turns out the guy, during one of his less than with it episodes as a result of his drinking, had swallowed a toothpick. The toothpick had pierced the part of his intestine called the duodenum, had been walled off, but it obviously infected the blood vessel nearby, so bacteria got into the bloodstream, made him septic, which is what dropped down his blood pressure. His liver started to fail, which is why he got the jaundice, and because he wasn't feeling well and his tummy wasn't working, he had sort of aspirated some of his stomach contents into his lungs, which caused the problem with his lungs. So this is how a lowly toothpick, which you might not have been able to see on CT scan because it's organic, and if it was surrounded by organic tissue in the body, which was walling it off, you might not have seen it. So the deductive reasoning led them to the conclusion. They put a scope down, they took out the toothpick, had already started him on antibiotics, and lo and behold, he got better. This isn't always the case, unfortunately, but I guess they publish it because it makes the doctor look good. And I'll take it. If it was me, I would take that positive in my column.
Okay, so here's one of those things that is going to engender some degree of fear. The spread of drug-resistant superbugs is surging.
Yes. Something that most of us will not have to worry about, but certainly a real concern for me in the emergency room. We're seeing worldwide and in our local communities bugs that have become increasingly resistant to the antibiotics we typically use. And this is a
replay this video and listen what the guy just said, something in this guy's stomach, and the doctor put a scope inside and take it out.
That means that bugs are exposed to these antibiotics.
Oh my goodness, that's a miracle, man.
Inappropriate use of antibiotics.
The man was on his last.
Around the world, especially around the world where people can often get access to them without necessarily seeing a doctor. And then lastly, the fact that there hasn't been any new antibiotics generated in the last little while, no incentive on the part of pharma to actually come up with them. So for most of us, not going to be an issue. Make sure you wash your hands, off into the angle of your elbow, stay healthy, and it shouldn't be a problem, but really a concern for those of us in the hospital working with these types of problems.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Mitch.
Have a good one.
That's our medical expert, Dr. Mitch Shulman. This week on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, what British sitcoms inspired North American shows, and how a toy company influenced the Flintstones family.
The show in Britain was beautifully designed and built to last. Visit your Miele retailer or Miele.ca to learn more. Once a Miele, always a Miele.
This is News Talk Downtown, CFRP AM, Toronto, a division of Bell Media, and an iHeartRadio station.
It's 2 o'clock. Your update from the CTV Toronto newsroom starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Seaman. Some of the stories we're following in the newsroom this hour. A child is dead and 2 other people are in hospital with serious injuries after a trailer fire in Oshawa Saturday afternoon. It happened in the area of Elgin Street and Park Road just before 2:30 Saturday afternoon. The trailer was fully engulfed in flames when crews arrived. 2 firefighters suffered minor burns. The cause of the fire is under investigation. A motorcyclist is dead following a crash on the northbound lanes of Highway 400 near Highway 7 in Vaughan. It happened around 6:30 Saturday evening. All northbound lanes were closed for several hours for the collision investigation and cleanup. No word yet from police on what led to the crash. In politics, Ontario Premier Doug Ford's government returns to Queen's Park tomorrow for what promises to be a short but intense 7-week sitting.
Opposition parties say they fear the short sittings have become a new and undemocratic norm. A lingering trade war with the U.S., a consequential downturn in the economy with about 700,000 Ontarians looking for work, increasing inflation, and a crashing housing market will all hang over the Ontario legislature as politicians gather en masse for the first time in 137 days. The progressive conservative government is set to ban speed cameras through legislation this week, but Ford's promise to ban research testing on dogs and cats will not be landing this fall. Rob Westgate, the Canadian Press.
The Toronto Blue Jays must win tonight at Rogers Centre to extend the American League Championship Series and force a winner-take-all Game 7 tomorrow.
The Blue Jays trailed the Seattle Mariners 3-2 in the best-of-7 showdown heading into tonight's pressure cooker. Rookie pitcher Trey Savage will be on the mound for Toronto. Logan Gilbert will pitch for the Mariners, who can advance to their first-ever World Series appearance with a win. Whoever wins the ALCS will face the defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series. Brenda Molina Navidad, the Canadian Press, Toronto.
Stay up to date at cpdnewstoronto.ca. Now here's time saver traffic.
401 eastbound crash cleaned up past Darren Mills. Still has the right lane blocked at the express to collector transfer. Expect a sluggish stretch from the 400 right through to Leslie. Traffic brought to you by Frank Leo, your home sold guaranteed. Frank Leo Remax has a multi-million-dollar marketing system to get sold guaranteed, or Frank will buy it. Get more. Go to getleo.com and start packing with confidence. Time saver traffic, I'm Sonia Sash. Your next update at 2:15 on News Talk 10 Toronto.
A special weather statement has been issued by Environment Canada. We can see strong winds from the southwest this afternoon with gusts up to 85 kilometers per hour. Also showers beginning this afternoon and a risk of a thunderstorm, a high of 23, 28 for the humidity. A few showers ending overnight, then cloudy, a 40% chance of showers. Also windy, dropping to a low of 10. Right now, mostly cloudy and 22. I'm Heather Seaman. Our next update at 3 o'clock on News Talk 1010.
You are listening to an encore presentation on News Talk 1010 Toronto. Any comments or opinions have already been made for up to the minute.